This podcast is called Don't Be Silent, Be Lean. We have been spoken, about the lean manufacturing, of course, as a regional CI, which means continuous improvement. Sometimes you can translate it, the positions Kaizen, lean manager. Tell me more, what does it mean for you? What does this lean manufacturing and this approach mindset, what really drives you? How do you feel it yourself?
I would say, it's like always you try to find a common language, how you can communicate with the people. And this is something I think where lean provides a nice platform, like calling the things with the same name, calling the issues with the same name, and tackling them with the similar tools, so you can kind of standardize the way you are doing, your improvements. I never forget, when I was working in one of the employers, and they always said, before you do any significant improvement and you spend a lot of time, with trying to find the new ways, reinvent the wheel, let's say, please at least, copy what the others did well and which is working. Once you get on the same level, it's the time to improve something, and this is where I really see lean, it's like it's trying to introduce the right tools and right methodologies, so you can compare, you can speak with the same language, and you can use the same tools, so I think that's what enables a good discussion, with between the people. Because if you talk with the different languages, if there is a misunderstanding, like you talk about the apple and someone else talk about the pear, it's difficult, to get to the core of a problem and find some solutions.
What would be your advice? I mean, now it's really not now your role as business developer, but really I'm getting still back to your really the lean managers times. Yeah. What were you for you? Maybe the 3 tips that you would advise to the guys. Yeah.
I would say I think we already touched that, but really involve the top management, and you shouldn't really let it go like that. The top management is like, hey, Jiří, you are the guy. Do your stuff. I have other things to do. That never worked, and we could see significant differences between when you are the lean guy and no one really cares, or when it's the methodology which is asked by the top management, and you are more like a extended hand, of the top management when it comes to implementing the lean tools and helping people to do it. Second tip would be never underestimate the training. Whatever people tell you, they know, they understand. Always, you should really make probably the training again, make it fun, make it the way that everyone can really like connect, maybe some simulation, but make sure that everyone has the same understanding before you try to make some bigger changes. Because that, in my experience, stopped a lot of good projects where there was a part of the team who really knew what we talk about, and then there was a part who thought, we are doing something, and therefore, they were, for example, not positive about the change. They didn't want to change anything, and so on, And if I could think about one more tip, don't be afraid to involve the lowest, and I don't mean it really bad, but the lowest level in your processes, the people who are really performing the processes, because they have the best knowledge about what's going on there, what is the problem, and quite often they have a straightforward solutions for it. Many times, I don't know why, I have seen kind of a bit of an arrogance, from this middle management, maybe, where they were like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, to talk to the operators. What do you want to know from them, really? And I was always like, no, it's they are the guys. They are the guys who really know. And especially when you give them the chance to talk about the problems, they see, someone is really interested into them concretely, like what they think, what they want to do. You will really find golden ideas in there, I would say, from them, because they are the ones who are spending, daily 8-12 hours with the process. So who else, should know better what is possible to change in there for better.
Yeah, very nice. I need to 200% agree with everything what you mentioned. So really the support really from top, this make difference. Yeah. I will take now your third point, which is really speak to the people, because they really know. And this is, I would say 90% of the proposals and of the solutions were coming just that I spoke with the people, and then the management was telling me how you know. And I said, I'm just speaking with the people. the time that I spent to be with the guys on the shop floor, and they just know what should be done. You didn't create the culture or the environmental for the people to come to you and to trust you that they will come and you implement. So I always take it really as both sides, connection. You want from me to implement, and you create the culture that I can implement. And your third point, or in your position, the second, and I really love it, and it's don't underestimate the training, and I need to agree 300% times, because really it's the training, and it's not one-off. And again, I see here as well the different approaches. I've been asked, because I'm doing and providing the trainings internationally in 20 countries all around the world, either the offline, online, and I can really see at the beginning, and I'm clarifying with the team, where do you want to start? And if they say start somewhere in the middle level, I said, hey guys, this is not what I'm going to do. I will start with you. If you really think lean is really important for you, I will first train you as a top management, and then we will cascade it down. And if you don't agree, it doesn't make sense. So I would really here to say, hey guys, if you want to really implement the lean culture, you should be trained the first. And that's the beginning.
I think they should be, the top management should be on the level of to be trainers themselves. It's one of my first employers. One of the requirements for the management position was that you are lean practitioner certified or green belt certified, depending on which department. Which was again making sure that we speak with the common language. So when we, for example, discuss, okay, we need to perform a process capability study. I knew on the other side, there was the same understanding of what we really have to do. Not like just a vague imagination of what needs to do, because then they understood, okay, if you want to perform this, we need to provide some resources, we need to provide some production time, because to make a process capability study correctly, it's not like the thing you can do in between the breaks, when there is a changeover, you can do your studies, So,
and I think that's as well very, very good, because based on this, and you mentioned it, so I will just make a little bit. There are different levels. Let's start with the white belt, which is somebody after 2 hours you at least know what is the lean. Then you have like the yellow belt, which is 1-2 days as well, depend, and you'll bit know some tools. With the green belt, it can take 5-6 days as well, depend how in details. But normally you are certified after getting some project. And the next level is the black belt, who is again depends, maybe 10 days more projects. That's why I'm just mentioning in here that it's clear, and based on it you can expect the level how the people they know and how to drive. Where I see the issue in this one is, and I saw 10-15 years again, it was like the big wave. Let's get everybody at the green belt, black belt, etc., which was great. And then what I saw a little bit, the wave down was, okay, the first we save on the training, which is, again, that doesn't make sense. And the second, but the guys will not have time to do it. And if you don't have time to bring the savings and the projects, I said, hey, guys, don't do it. But it's, it's mentality, it's.
This is something, I never forget, one of my former master black belts, he was saying a really simple comment to this, and it's golden. He was like, yeah, I know. There is no time for the proper Six Sigma project, but there is always enough time, to do it 5 times, 10 times wrong, And this is something where it's like with the preventive and reactive maintenance, it's like, we cannot do the preventive maintenance because we have to repair the broken machines. And I'm like, it's like when the dog is chasing his own tail, it's like at a certain point you need to break this and say, okay, if you want to avoid something, you need to invest the time into it, and
Exactly.
it's a little bit strange. Again, it's coming, to the times where we are right now, where we both feel probably that it's lean is not sexy enough, and you're like, okay, asking, wait, what is next? Is it just a pure firefighting, pure reacting to what happens? Is this really, how we want to work? And I hope, this will be a little bit restarted, with the upcoming, I think, difficult months and maybe years, because we need to do something, in Europe. I think if you want to compete with the rest of the world. And again, it's coming back to competition. That's something what really drives you, because only healthy competition, will force you to endlessly improve your processes, your products, so you can compete to the others.
Fully agree. What I like about the lean, again, they said it requires money, but just make it simple. Like just start really with some suggestions. The kaizens, the simple thing. Yeah, just ask people to give you some ideas. But again, what I mentioned to the top management to say, but this is very big commitment from you.
Yeah.
It's not to ask people to bring the ideas. It's your commitment that you will look at that and you will implement. Of course, you will not implement 100%, but you are going to implement. And they were looking at me and to say, yeah, this is it. That's why when I make like some lean audit assessments and the maturity in some of the companies, I said, no, this is not the time to implement, some, the complicated system, because at the current stage, you are not able to implement and you would lose the trust from the people. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
And I have to say, majority of the, let's say, the lean tools you would call basic, and they have already quite a good impact, like standardized work, visual management. They don't really cost that much of money, to implement them. The same with the SMET methodology, One of the first steps is to take existing process and change the order, the way we reduce the time where the machine is really stopped. And usually it doesn't require any other thing to do than the organizational change, And I'm pretty clear when I explain these steps. I'm like, okay, we do this first because that doesn't cost almost any money. With the next step, if we want, we can invest some money to move it even further. But then we have to think about, okay, what is the investment? What is the return in that? What is the return on investment on that? And it's coming back to we need to train the people again, I think, so we speak the common language, so they understand that if someone tells me 5S is when it's clean, lean requires big investments, I'm like, I'm not sure that you really fully understood what is lean methodology about, really. And probably we just need to make again some initial training to help you understand why the lean is so efficient, and why we should use it.
Yeah, and I like it, yeah, because that's very often when it's about investment. It's not. I play the game with the companies and with the different people, and I always put what is lean and what is not lean, and they have like 15 examples of lean and not lean, and then we discuss that, and it's always quite interesting how the perception of the people is different. And normally we have a lot of good discussions where we say, okay, it's expensive, yeah. And they say, yeah, this is lean. No, it's not. Because it's
I
really
think
the small things and you can do it fast.
When you pointed out, what is the difference between the nations, and it's causing some misunderstanding, between the nations, like what is the management style, what are the values in there. I think the same is in the understanding of the lean, we shouldn't really assume, that we have all the same understanding unless we check it, like you say, maybe make a lean assessment, find out where we are, and act accordingly, to that. If we find out we don't have the common understanding, first thing is to bring your partners, the management, to the level where you speak with the same language, actually, and then you can decide, to implement some tools and move forward.
Fully agree. Now let's be coming as well. So thanks a lot for the discussion about the lean. I will be touching one more topic. What are your favorite either the movies, podcasts, books about the lean manufacturing, or maybe even the personal development? So not just about the lean, but as well your personal development. Do you have something to share that you would like to share with the guys?
I'm unfortunately not that good reader, when it comes to that. It's I'm more, like studying on demand. So when I'm in this certain topic, it's I'm trying, to understand a little bit more about it, So for me, the biggest motivators and drivers were part of my career, So it was some of the positions where humanly and also, by demonstrating usage of the tools, they really motivated me. It's one of my former bosses, Martin Veselak. You probably have met him.
Yep.
He really influenced my life quite positively. And even before, the CEO of the company, really, really big motivation. Because again, like demonstrating and asking for the lean thinking, was something which really like motivated me, to use the tools to make it happen and so on. So Yeah, I have got a lot from, let's say, learning by doing from the companies. The either production systems. Of course, I was reading the Toyota way. I had a chance to meet with Jeffrey Liker personally.
Wow.
But it's, I would say, if you are not already lean enthusiast, you will probably not appreciate it much. That you are talking to such a level of a person. So it's like when you are not even walking and you are trying to fly. That's what I mean. So I'm sorry I cannot really recommend this. What I definitely should recommend is never stop learning. It's every customer I am touching has something in common, similar problems, but every time there is some new problem. Sometimes it's low batches. Like you cannot really apply the tool the same way as like for the serial production. So you need to twist it a little bit, or using lean in some exotic areas, like in the quality. I don't want to say exotic, but in the quality department, standardization of the quality related processes, standardization of the administration processes. We have one customer who is delivering alcohol on demand, let's say, and we had a lot of lean related discussions in there because it was at the end about the efficiency of the process, and what is waste, what is not waste, how should the standard look like. So what I can only recommend is like never stop learning, use every available source, to read about the problem you are facing. And yeah, I would say that's it. I have no concrete author. I'm really sorry for that.
Yeah. But it's as well very interesting. Yeah, I like really what you mentioned. One of the approaches, learning by doing. Yeah. That you really try it, and again, you do it yourself with the team, and this was the best way. This is how I probably were quite attractive as well, to the guys, because instead of just go and to say why you didn't do it, you do it yourself. And then I saw it's really, crazy thing, and we could reinvent and re-engineer and do it differently. And this, I was touching it, I try it, and I saw it's very difficult. And I think by this you are building the trust to the people because they see that you try. Because a lot of people are, high level, I will not try. And one of the tool that I really like is really the Gemba Walk. Yeah, that you really go and see. And I remember, with one of the client for the first time when we went, and you could see that the guys were really, what does the management is doing here? Yeah, what do they want? And I said, let's get, you will be walking, you will be asking. For me, the Gemba Walk is not the audit. So a lot of companies, they said, we implemented Gemba Walk. And instead of, it was like the management going and, to say you didn't have this in place and 5S is wrong and safety. And I say, guys, this is the Gemba Walk. The purpose of the Gemba Walk is to see, is to speak with the people, is to understand. And when they say they have issue with something, you as a management, you will try to, escalate it and you will try to solve it. It's very simple, but very powerful tool. But definitely this is not the audit, with, some actions back and, and disciplinary, events. This is definitely not Gemba Walk.
It's something, like I think from our common history, one of the best things which I remember from my regional job, that was to organize, we call it a fresh ice walks, and bring people from the different plants, different environment, to go and see, and just maybe point out, the differences, to say, okay, we are doing this differently, and for us this is working. Maybe you can try to do the same, and we will see. It's just the thing. And it's like I fully agree. And it's coming back to, I know we live in a difficult times. There is a fast pace for everything. But I think you should still find the time, to go into your processes, not to lose the touch with it. Just really have a reasonable understanding of what's going on, why you are facing some issues, and eventually as well, to see some potentials for the improvements in there.
Definitely. Thanks for that. My last question to you, because the time is really pacing fast. What advice would you give to the younger people, maybe after the school at the age of 20s, that they would be successful in what you're doing? I mean, now more still linked to the lean. So what advice would you give them?
I would say first, don't be afraid to get dirty, let's say, and get deep down in the process. If there is a task, to stand on the line for 5 hours, measure the times, and you are like, okay, that's not my level. Don't be like this. Really get in the process. You have to go through the phases where we have to go through as well. We are where we are because we did it step by step. We were really there in the shop floor. So now you don't have to be in the shop floor to understand a lot of things, but we were there. So first thing is, don't be afraid, really, like, to accept for you, like, maybe you feel it's not your level, but sooner or later, this will really pay back. And second, don't be afraid to fail. There is no failure with it. It's every time you try something and there is not the result which you expected, you have learned something. You have learned, okay, maybe this is not the way how I should do it. It would be a little bit stupid, to repeat the same failure 5-6 times, but if you are not afraid to fail and you are willing to learn from that mistakes, this is something which really, really drives you forward. That's making the change.
And I think that was really great, the end of that. And so my guest in the Efficiency Now podcast, Don't Be Silent, Be Lean, was Jiří Holoubek, who is the business developer and ex-regional CI manager.